Hello Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. This is going to be your mid-May lunar messages. We are in a full moon in Scorpio right now. If you follow Western astrology, it's in Scorpio. If you follow sidereal astrology, then it is in Libra. Most likely the house that Sagittarius falls in for you in sidereal is actually Scorpio. Yes, actually Scorpio. So either way, we're looking at your 12th house. And this is the house of closure, endings, healing, um, things that are hidden, subconscious, that may come to the surface. So we're looking at what you're releasing, what is shifting, and what to embrace over the next 30 days or more, just depending. I'm using the Enchanted Map Oracle deck by Colette Barn Reed and clarifying with the Wildwood Tarot. At the end, I'm going to pull one oracle card from the Wild Offerings Oracle deck for a message for you to meditate on with the information that comes through with this reading. Hope you all are doing well, and keep in mind these are general, but hopefully we can bring some clarity for those of you seeking that confirmation or forewarning. So let's begin with what is being released. Metamorphosis with the Knight of Stones. I feel that this is a change in direction, almost drastic in its nature. Some of you may have changed course or felt the need to take a second look at what direction you were going in, investing your time, your energy. I feel for some of you, what has changed in this house for you or in this area of where you've needed healing. I feel for some you've changed. It's almost like you've changed disciplines, or you've changed who and where you get your information from, what you trust. I feel that this is as well a change with your work. Some of you drastically changed something with your career, or you've gone into a direction where you felt that there's more stability. Maybe there, up until this point or for some time in your past, you were doing some work that you felt was, or it was just suitable for the level you were at, but in some ways you've been trying to elevate that. And so in that process you have been slowly, and it's a metamorphosis, so there's almost a sense that in some ways what you do for your sense of work or where you're going has, or what your goals are, you're definitely, I feel for some of you, looking for long-term results, maybe leaving situations that were always meant to be temporary. Your sense of freedom, I see this as well. There's something that you freed yourself from. So it could be anything. Some of you maybe freed yourself from a job you didn't like, or really wasn't matching up with who you are. Some of you may have freed yourself from a relationship that was going nowhere. Some of you may have changed your thoughts and beliefs about spirituality and what you do believe. In either way, this is like, I feel a drastic change. And for some of you, it's a turn backwards or it's a return. So some of you may have returned. You've changed. Somewhere you once left and felt you had to kind of go off and find your own direction. Maybe you've run back for some sense of stability or closure, or there's this way that, like, maybe you're someone who were brought up in religion and left it for some time, or were brought up with some type of spiritual belief, but maybe went off to kind of find your own truth, your own way. And as your things changed for you, there's the sense that you kind of returned back to that source, with a sense of a greater understanding, or to learn a bit more. Like you're ready now to receive something that you haven't been ready for before in your recent past. You've kind of gone back to, I feel, a source of change and growth for you, or where you feel gives you a steady, stable foundation to work from. So what you consider your security, your safety net, has changed recently. Okay. And I feel for some of you, where you even look for your signs that there's change and growth up ahead, what you should be investing in, which direction you should be going in. Something here with changing leadership too is going on for me. For some of you, there's been a change in leadership. Some of you have maybe learned there's something you've maybe gone back to school for, something to elevate your sense of security, or changing a relationship to elevate your sense of security, committing to a relationship. Whatever this change is like, I've committed to this. I'm committed to this change that I need to make in my life. As you're growing and going through this stage of growing, your growing pains, there's this, I feel, source that you've returned to or have found to help keep you steady and along the right path. A source of strength in the midst of a transition in your life. So this is what's shifting. Gentle Gardener with the Ace of Arrows, which is the breath of life. And it's definitely a new beginning energy here. And with the Gentle Gardener, this is with some wisdom. This is also with a form of protection from maybe your ancestors or people who are older, wiser, and can guide you on making sure your plans hatch in a way that is beautiful, healthy, has the chance to survive. So some of you have, with this Ace of Arrows, breath of life, this, I feel, enlightenment, epiphany, and there is, again, this sense of direction that's coming out of here, of which way you should go, what you rely on for your source, even if it's not a person, what you consider your higher power. For some of you may have gone through a change, what you feel as like, this is how I'm going to manifest my vision, this is how I'm going to manifest what it is I want to see in my future. And if that means changing direction or going back to a source that I feel has been a stable force at one point, where, and then you felt like you maybe went off and went free and went on your own, but still feeling like there was something that you were missing in the form of guidance. So this is guidance that is, I feel, patience as far as even, and this is cutting in the sense, it's the Ace of Swords energy, so there definitely could be still some things that you are gently releasing out of your life, or letting go, or even gracefully allowing that which is not in alignment with where you're going, or where you've changed direction, and being at peace with that, because it's a careful guidance here, but it's also kind of past wisdom coming in, and you seeing as well too. I'm getting like how some of you are going to be seeing how, like, oh, my mother was right, my grandmother was right about this, or my mother's right about this. Those things that are said to you when you were younger, that again don't click at the moment, but then there's a time where it all makes sense. So there's like some understanding here, and it says some clarity about where you're going and what you're doing, clarity and trust as well, I feel. So there's something or someone who's breathing new life into your your new seeds that you're planting for your future. It as well could be who you see you have some future long-term possibilities with as far as a relationship goes. Clarity about the direction that even a relationship is going, whether it's a relationship continuing or a new relationship coming in. Some of you have definitely a strong understanding, better understanding, because of what you learned, because this is also a card that pays attention to details. And so some of you, there may have been sort of a hard lesson that changed you in the form of relationships, mainly I'm seeing, to be a bit more cautious. Now, some of you, I feel, in the same breath, are throwing caution to the wind a bit. Because this could be something here where you once were a bit slow to move or slow to make a decision. You could be in that way of changing even something that you were stubborn about or stood fast in. Something with patience here is, I feel, part of what has been a lesson. So in some ways, and in some ways where you may be held back, you're ready to now move forward now that you have more information. In some ways, some of you with the process, this is something about going for it now, moving away from that hesitating energy, changing that about yourself, or changing that in the sense of, if you feel it, then you're going to go for it. If it feels right, if it aligns with my higher wisdom, higher power, higher knowledge kind of understanding here. And for some of you, this is some clarity even where that source or information is, or even if you don't know, trusting it, trusting that you're being looked after. So that's I feel in some ways kind of the truth of that happening, proof of that, and also someone showing and proving that they're handling you with care, or you're in the situation of handling a new plan with care, a new relationship with better care than you have in the past. Being honest, truthful. And so what we have for the what to embrace is talisman, and then the Ace of Stones, the foundation of life. So you got two aces here. So this talisman is all about your journey and the wisdom that you've acquired through it all, turning that into your power, knowing that there was nothing that was really a mistake in your past. And because of your past, even if it was difficult and you have the scars to prove how difficult it was, there's a way of turning your pain into your power, as well as starting a stable foundation with long-term potential and more manifestation power. I feel some of you are kind of in even understanding a bit what is your power, and that hidden it could be a hidden talent, it could be a hidden gift, or the seen and unseen is coming through for me with these for you, Sagittarius. Things that are seen and unseen, and you being really in touch with your power of manifestation, your power to take your pain and turn it into your power, as well give you a clear direction on where you're going because of your understanding of where you've been and how it's changed you, how your upbringing has shaped you, how a relationship has shaped you, for knowing yourself more, to knowing what is love, what is care, what is support too, clarity about that. I feel some of you, if there were people around you where during a major change you realize, now I feel like many of you in your past really paid kind of attention to who kind of stood by and watched, and who maybe came in to help you, being very mindful too of those people in your life, in your past, that have helped guide you along the way, or helped shape a little bit of your beliefs, but showed improved, who showed improved in your life. And I feel that's for some of you with this Ace of Arrows and Breath of Life, it's giving you a divine clarity, and that's in the process where you're in this attitude of shifting and gently letting go, not being and as well, not holding on to things that are just meant to change and leave your life. For some of you, were maybe either if you were holding on to relationships, holding on to habits, holding on to a dream or a goal that in reality something changed around it where it's no longer the same. You were holding something, or you were pointed in a direction, but then all of a sudden there was something that came up along that road that has changed the course in a way, or even changed the value of what it is that you were holding on to so much. So some of you may have realized what you were holding on to was not as valuable as you thought it was at one point in time. Trusting the process, I feel, and what's to embrace is a clearer direction, but also some actual manifestation proof, seed planting, and gaining a bit more of confidence about knowing what you're doing. And I feel stronger bonds, stronger commitments, even being more committed to a belief, to your spirituality even. Because I feel some of you are really kind of getting in touch with that and realizing it's a good grounding. There's some good grounding practices or things, but you also realize there's something that takes some time. It's not an overnight process. So I feel like some of you are in the midst of, even if you already had a spiritual awakening at some point in time, there's another going on right now. There's some type of elevation and even more truths that you're going to be understanding about yourself, and particularly endings and the processes of closure, letting go, and even, things that you need to do on your own as well. I feel for some of you, if there has been clarity, now some of you, I feel that there's been this, it's like a parallel relationship or kind of parallel situation that you have been like comparing and contrasting how the love, like some of you may have been comparing a present partner to a past partner, or a present partner to a potential partner. With this, I feel like there's some clarity about what it is you do need to release and let go. You are definitely going more towards that gives you a feeling of nurturing, and that is someone who's showing you that they can roll with changes, go with the flow of your changes, and still be in some way kind of a steady rock. And if some of you, if you're single, some clarity and self-care that you're doing on your own, caring for yourself a bit better. Some of you could be in that process of doing that. Could be bringing in a new relationship that's better grounded. Something here where there is a process of metamorphosis that some of you Sagittarius have gone through, and the process has been completed in the sense of what you see is now what you get, and it's a sense of like resting in that for a moment, or letting it be a springboard for all your kind of next future decisions or upcoming plans, your thoughts, your ideas, what you deem as true, what you deem as this is where I should start, this is where I should begin, this is what I should breathe life into, or this is who is breathing life into me, or this situation, this work, this career, This is what's breathing life into me. This is what I want to continue to nurture, to garden, to see hatch and see grow. This is where I'm now beginning from this place of I've gone through that drastic change, and now what you see is what you get, and so also what you see is what you get on what's coming up next for you. A better work opportunity, a more stable relationship that has the chance to grow, and someone who kind of, and I feel even a situation that accepts you with your flaws and all, and also just the power of your choices being a lot better than they were in the past. There's less questioning and doubt of you knowing where you're going and what you're doing and where you need to plant your new seeds based on some hard lessons and things from the past. But I feel some of you are moving away from second guessing yourself. There's more confidence that's returning into you, with where you should be going, what direction in your life you should be headed, whether that's for your career, your purpose. Some of you are still in the process of realizing that, and that's what's shifting, is your direction. We got these arrows here, and so where this lands for you, something soon is going to be coming in. I feel that gives you this sense that you're on a good foundation, a better foundation, with either a career, a plan, person, a relationship than you have been in the past. New beginnings. Your approach to commitment may be changing. Some of you who are maybe put off by the idea of commitment or idea of a relationship, there as well could be new life being birthed into a relationship. Breath of life, foundation of life. Some of you could be in that process now where soon you, in some way, some of you may be starting the foundation of your own family. That could be what some of you are going to be embracing in the near future. Feeling like you're in a bit of a stable mind and material, and also kind of have that partner, that true kind of partner that you feel you have some good understanding or honesty with, someone that you can trust to go the distance with. So let's look at your message for meditation through what's going on here. I feel like it's kind of a vague message, but again, 12th house, it's like, it is subconscious. It is the subconscious. We are looking at how the moon shifts are affecting this. We also just had the lunar node shifts go from from Cancer and Capricorn to Gemini, Sagittarius. Sagittarius is in the south. So I do feel for some of you this is really affecting you, especially for Sagittarius rising. Check your nodes too. I would recommend that you guys do your research on where those placements are and where they were when you were born can affect your life purpose. Okay, so we have truth. When everything is done as an offering, even the act of speaking, you get shown when to talk and when to be silent. Your words come from silence, not fear. You do the talking, dear Lord, take over and speak through me. So, So Sagittarius, I do feel for some of you, depending on, in some ways, there's this channel that you're getting plugged into from a higher source. I'm getting kind of like appointed, what you've been appointed to do, and this truth that's ringing through here. I feel for some of you, you have a divine message to get out. You have something to channel. Or you have been in some ways chosen. And if you ran away from that in the past, it's found its way back to you. It's like, Now remember this, you know, I feel like some of you that you maybe have been, again, changing your attitude of being stubborn towards a direction that you've already been given. And if you felt like you weren't ready before, like, you are getting prepared right now. There's a preparation for you to walk into a new path that is going to serve as a strong force of power, steady foundation. It will turn it into, if you've rejected some type of feeling purpose that only you can do, you know, in the near future, you're going to embrace this role. You're going to stop running from that. You're going to embrace it, and then allow it to bring you places that you've never been before. So some of you get ready for that, whether it's materially, where you live, or stages in your career, or the people that you meet, being confident, not being susceptible to being swayed one way or another, or being caught between two worlds in some way. Some clarity about where you should be planting your garden. I feel, Sagittarius. That's some clarity that's coming in for you guys, and it says that through here, the truth. Okay, so that's your reading, Sagittarius. I do hope it was helpful. If you would like a personal reading from me, that information is below. How to get a phone reading, this I use a Simply Book Me site for scheduling and instructions on how you can get that. If you're comfortable with it, I'm all confidential. And if you would like an email reading with the cards, you can still email me at deuceofdiamondreader.com. They're unlimited for time. As far as time, there's no time limits. So I appreciate you. If you like this, give me a like. And thank you for watching. Take care.